Hey guys, welcome to FD Eco. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to paint your airsoft guns. Whether you're trying to go for a Delta Force build that looks super realistic, or you're just sick and tired of your lame run-of-the-mill airsoft gun colors, this is the video for you. I'm going to show you how to paint, what to buy, as well as a few tips and tricks along the way that I've learned. First things first, the gun I'm using is going to be this VCM URGI. I have been building this for quite a while now. It's actually really sweet. I just wanted to take it to the next level and make it a little bit more camouflaged for when I'm playing outside, since I literally only play outside. So it's going to be a little bit bittersweet because I do like the color of this rail. However, I am going to invest in a actual Geisley marked rail. So not too sad, just a little bit. But that being said, it's a little bit more complicated than just setting this up and then spray painting it. There's a few things you need to do before you actually do that. So I'm going to show you guys how to prep your gun for paint. All right, first things first, we're going to need a couple things before we get started here. We're going to need some painter's tape, masking tape. This is blue tape. There is also white, and I'm sure there's other colors. I've seen green as well. Doesn't really matter as long as it's masking tape and you know how to use it. So a couple things you want to do with our gun. So as you can see right here, if I pop this out, we've actually removed our hop-up unit. I don't know if you can see it in there. I'll brighten it up if you can't, but there's no hop-up unit in there. There's no barrel. I usually take the hop-up out because you don't want paint getting down the barrel. With this gun, it is an optical trigger. It's a Gate Aster 2. So I do want to cover up my trigger as well as the little hole that the trigger protrudes out of, because in there is a sensor, and if that sensor gets paint on it, it's basically donezo. So let's go ahead and cover the trigger up. All right, so as you can see, we have covered up the trigger. We've covered up the hole pretty well. It's not perfect, but it'll do. I just need to prevent paint from going in there, and that should do a fine job. But the next thing we want to do here is any objective lenses, as well as lasers, lights, anything, you're gonna want to cover it up. So we're gonna take our painter's tape. We're gonna go over the rear side of the scope here, and then the front lens as well. Kind of just a flat surface on the edge here. That's just gonna make sure that no paint is getting on the lens. Same with the lasers. This is obviously like a dud. It's actually like just basically for looks, but still I want to just tape over that quick. So let's go ahead and do that. So as I'm doing this, I'm pushing down very hard with my fingers, making sure there's no air, making sure there's no gaps. Do the same thing on the scope now. And again, just press down, make sure there's no gaps, make sure nothing can get inside there. So as you can see, it's a nice seal there. And as I'm doing this for the bigger end, because this is so thin, I'll just take like 3 strips like this, and then just kind of put them together like so. Doesn't need to probably be that big, but it doesn't matter that much. And we'll just put it on there, same way we've been doing with the past two. Just like so. So there you go, there's the scope all ready to go. And then one last thing, we want to tape over these threads on the end. If you have suppressors, obviously, you can leave that on there, but I like to paint my suppressors separately. Don't ask me why, I don't know, I just do. Last thing we want to do before this gets going is we want to throw some tape in here. So what I do for this is I basically start on the front edge of the magwell like so. Make sure it's nice and pushed in there. So it's just covering up that air nozzle inside there, so no paint is going to get in there. Quick note for your motor grip, some of these are open. This one's actually sealed. This is just the motor adjustment height screw, and there is no motor in here right now, so it wouldn't matter anyway. I usually just take the motor out because most of my grips are quick access anyway, like this one. But if it is open, a lot of them have venting on the bottom. I would probably just take a piece of tape and put it over the bottom like that. Now that our rifle is prepped, let's quickly talk paint. What I'm using to paint this today is gonna be Rust-Oleum camouflage. So I have Deep Forest Green, it's called, flat sand, flat khaki. Finally, I have some flat brown. And there are 100% other colors you can use for this. These are just the colors that are most common where I'm playing. If you're in like a tropical environment or like the South where it's really green, more green is gonna definitely do a lot for you. Maybe go outside, take a picture of your field, and then go to the store. You can go to Home Depot, Menards, Lowe's, wherever like home improvement stuff is, and they have tons of colors. I think Menards has the most around me, but it could be different where you are. So, and these are actually on sale right now when I bought these for about $5 each. I would encourage you to take a picture at your field, kind of pick some of the main colors, and then go from there. All right, so first we're gonna grab our dark color. This is the dark brown. Just gonna shake it up really nice. This one you don't have to shake as much. So what we're gonna do now just test it, make sure that it's actually, the paint's working, and then basically just gonna do some stripes here, about hands width, and we'll start right here. This is the darkest color I have, just like that, and we'll alternate, just like that. And then we'll bring the color over the side. This here. There you go, there's the brown. I like to go over it a couple times. Just give it a more definite line. Take our next darkest color, which is the green. Like this, and then I'll just go we'll go behind where the brown is. Yeah, so then there's the green, and then now we're gonna take our darker tan. Here's the darker of the tan, the flat khaki. And we're just gonna go everywhere we didn't go with the other two colors. And as you can see, it's already like this. You could use this. This is perfectly fine. But I'm a little bit more picky, so we're gonna do a little bit more with it. All right, now that we've kind of got this like shady pattern, let's go over it back with a little bit more colors. Like that. Just like to go over a couple times with each, just so it blends more. So we'll a little more green. Like that, maybe a little bit more here. All right, next thing I'm gonna do, and you can do this pretty much however you want. This is just a kind of a basic tutorial here, is I'll take my lightest color, which is this, and I'll take some of this stuff, which is like some grading. Hold this up to the gun like this, and then some of the darker areas, I'll just, from like a foot away, quick, just like that. And the closer you spray, the more solid of a pattern you'll get. So you can see right there, I got some, and that's just gonna break up some of the solid lines you have going on. You don't have to do that. It's just like a personal preference for me that I do it. You just kind of want it to look like a shadow almost, like what a shadow under a tree would look like. So I'll go far away with green, far away with brown, alternate. Like that. And then you don't need a super strong pattern. As you can see, I kind of, it's actually kind of not really visible. You might not even be able to see it on the camera, but it is there. So yeah, I used all 4 colors for that, and I'll show you guys the finished product here in a minute when it dries. All right guys, so here's our finished product. It looks way better. One thing I will note on stuff that's finished, like this scope ring right here, there's a little bit that's kind of peeling off or chipping off already. Same thing is probably gonna go for this handguard. So what I do is let it sit for a day or two and cure. It's gonna feel really chalky at first, but after a while, some of that paint is gonna start to come off. So you shouldn't have to worry about it feeling too chalky for too long. But yeah, once you're done, just take all your tape off, throw your accessories back on, and you're good to go. We have broken our charging handle. All right guys, that's gonna do it for this video. Hope you guys learned a lot. Keep in mind, this is just like a basic starting point for you guys. Feel free to do whatever you want, of course. Again, like I said, take a picture where you play, take a note what colors are around there, and then base your camouflage off of that. The possibilities for something you can do like this is pretty much endless. If you want to do a different type of like over pattern like I did, feel free to do that. Use different stuff, different shapes. I've seen people use mesh, like laundry bags. I had some really cool like grading stuff that I used to have that I would use. But overall, what we got here is a great starting point. This is looking good for where I'm playing. Of course, again, keep it in note, guys, colors on your field are gonna matter. So if you're using this in somewhere where it's just like bright green out there, it's probably gonna stand out more than it's gonna blend in. And of course, much more to come in the future when it comes to guides and stuff like this, guys. Probably do a video on how to paint handguns next. So yeah, stay tuned for that. I got nothing else for you guys. Have a great day.